Hello guys, my name is Raza Masood. Today we will discuss about rolling wave planning. Friend, rolling wave planning is basically a project management technique in which we that involves the progressive elaboration to add details to work breakdown structure WBS on an ongoing basis. At the beginning of the project, near-term deliverables are decomposed into individual components, work package, and they defined at the greatest level of detail. Deliverables and schedule activities that will take place several reporting periods in the future are more broadly defined. Friend, this was just only a definition. Just see this figure. Waves are coming. Like for example, waves are coming, and after one another wave, the second and third and fourth waves came like waves are coming in sequence. After one wave, the other wave came. So basically, rolling wave planning, friend, is basically a project management technique defined in the PMBOK or project management body of knowledge. It is very necessary as a project manager. You should know that you can do the rolling wave planning. Rolling wave planning means that the things or phases which are near to a start, you can do the planning for these phases in detail level. At the greatest level, you can do the detail level planning for those phases which are near to start, which are near in future, and those phases which are far behind, which are far beyond, like far in the future, you like for example 5 to 6 months after that you can have to start those phases. Then you can do the high level planning at this moment, and the detailed planning you can do after some later stage. So this is called the rolling wave planning. This is can be called as the agile methodology or the iterative approach as well. This is very similar to agile as well. So let me give you an example for this rolling wave planning. Let's assume you have to do the 6 phases for a project: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, and phase 6. Phase 1 and 2 you have to start in the near future. For example, after 1 month you have to start the phase 1 and phase 2. So these phases are very near in future, so you can do a very detailed and the greatest level of detail planning for these phases, phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 3 and 4 we have to start after 5 months, and phase 5 and 6 you have to start after 10 months. So what does that means? Basically, you have some time to start the phase 3 and 4. What you do, you can do only the high level planning at this moment for phase 3 and 4, and when you have started the phase 1, you are executing the phase 1, then you can start the planning, detail level planning for phase 3 and 4. And once you reach the execution of phase 3, you can start planning for phase 5 and phase 6. What is the advantage of this type of planning or this type of execution is that basically, friends, you all know that whenever we start a project, this is not necessary that all level high that all detail level of estimates or facts and figures would be available at the very starting of a project. And it is also not necessary that you do all detail level of planning at the very starting of a project. You can do the detailed planning for only those phases, for those things which are very near in future, and you have to start at a very early stage. And the things which are far in future, you can do the planning at a later stage as well, because you have time. Secondly, the facts and figures would be available at that moment once you reach at that level. So this is very good planning approach, because once you have the right facts and figures in your hand, right estimates and right estimates for cost and schedule, so you can do the right level planning for resources, project, and etc. So and also see, if you try to do all high or detail level planning for all the phases, for example phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at a very early stage when you are starting, so there are very high level of chances that you can do the wrong planning, because this is not necessary that you have the right estimates and facts and figure for the phase 3 and 4, because you don't have the right figure. So there are very high chances that you can do the wrong level of planning for these types of for phases. So this is called the rolling wave planning, in which you do the planning for those phases which are very near in future, which are very close to a start. So you do the detailed level of planning, at the greatest level of planning you do, and the phases which are far in future you do only the high level of planning. And once you reach some later stage, you get the right facts and figures and right estimates in your hand, then you do the planning for the next phases. For example, phase 1 and 2 detailed planning, and phase 3, 4, 5, 6 are high level planning. Once you reach the phase 1 execution, you started the phase 1 or executing the phase 1, you start the planning for phase 3 and 4, 5. Similarly, once you started the execution of phase 3, you start planning for phase 5 and 5, 6, because you have some right facts and figures and estimates for cost, estimate and schedule, etc. in your hands, and so that you can do the right planning in your hand. Friends, you definitely know that if you do the right planning on the basis of right facts and figure, there are very high chances that you can be successful in your project. One more thing, that rolling wave planning is very similar to iterative approach or agile. So this is true that there is some inspiration from the agile methodology or iterative based approach. So basically you can see clearly that it is very similar to iterative approach. So guys, thanks a lot for your time, and I have tried my level best to explain the concept of rolling wave, and this is basically of idea of planning approach defined in the PMBOK. And I would request to please subscribe to my channel and also click on the bell option so that you can be notified whenever new video came. And thanks a lot for your time, and if you have any question, please do ask from me. I love to answer your question. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your time.